Is that at the ranch?
Tenino Bar.
Yeah. Oh, they're like listed as
Yeah, because remember the last meeting
The 1776.
Yeah.
That's going in where the Scatter Creek Winery was.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a really big one too. Actually, she spent a lot of time. She gave it to us for a fun gift. So.
There'll be one on for the ranch before long because they're building a steakhouse out there.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
13.
I'm not getting on the internet here.
Got home. Laid down for what I thought was just a couple of minutes. And a few hours later,
Woke up.
just to get off the couch and go to bed.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, those are long days. Yes?
Can I borrow your pen? Or just like the
Oh, never mind. You guys.
I stole one last time.
Shut up. Completely oblivious, I'm sure. Yeah, my internet's a little slow. There's an echo in here. Do.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, I heard a bunch of cheerleaders are coaching.
Do we have another
All right. My internet's a little slow, so I can't pull up the agenda. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the September 13th Tenino City Council work session. Let the records show that all council members are present. The items on the work session are few. We have, for informational purposes, Governor Jay Inslee today, well, not today, but when we were given this notice, announced the upcoming rescission of all remaining COVID-19 emergency proclamations and state of emergency by October 31st. The emergency ends on Halloween. Nearly 3/4 of the governor's 85 COVID-19 emergency orders have already been lifted, and an additional 13 healthcare-related orders will end October 27th. The remaining 10 orders to be lifted on October 31st, including the underlying state of emergency. That is for informational purposes. If we receive any other notices from the governor's office, we will include them in the informational portion of our meeting. And that is it, I believe, for the work session. On the agenda tonight, we have the wrapping up the City Hall completion and final pay estimate, which we've talked about. In the information provided, we've given their costs and also included where in the budget it would come from. We also have a proclamation for National Voter Registration Day, which that one's pretty self-explanatory. So, with that all being said, we will open up for presentation, or not presentations, but reports. And we haven't seen George in a while, so I imagine we can give him a good 20, 30 minutes. You're looking tan, George. You been getting outside?
All day Saturday.
You
Yeah,
got
all day
some sun.
Saturday, but 3 days at Oregon Trail Days were warm, and that whole month of July
There
I
you
was
go.
outside.
Looking good, man.
It's been
a couple weeks.
So thank you.
Go ahead, the George report.
Chamber of Commerce. So next week we're going to meet on Wednesday. We have the Tenino School District coming, BDAT, and also the Fire District's going to come and give an update. And then right after that, we have the Certified Tourism Ambassador Training. So that's with the Experienced Olympian Beyond. That'll be from 2 to 6 p.m. for anybody who wants to get trained up on how to promote Thurston County in the communities. And I think Linda's going to go to that.
And that's from 2 to 6?
Yeah, 2 to 6. I think Jay Johnson from Tenino is going to go to that. So we have about, I think, 6 to 8 people signed up so far. And then right after that, the certified tourism ambassadors are going to go to the Tenino Sandstone Distillery tasting room to have an open house to show them what that is as
And
well.
that's, when is that, the 11th?
Wednesday, the 21st.
21st.
Yeah. And then for the Economic Development Council, we have our real estate forum happening the 22nd, and that's from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m., and that's at formerly the Red Lion Hotel on the lake. We also are starting a Spanish scale-up training program, so any Spanish-speaking businesses that are interested, that's an online training, and that's going to start at the end of the month. South Thurston Economic Development Initiative, our meeting is this Friday. It's at 8 a.m. It'll be at Rainier Senior Center, and we're going to get a broadband update from the Nisqually tribe as one of our speakers, plus updates from Thurston County on what's happening at the county level. Arts Commission, we have a tentative date for the 28th at 4 p.m. I'm going to be contacting the rest of the Arts Commission members to see if that will work for them, and then keep you posted on that. And I think 28th. And that's my report. 4.
Thank you, George. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Sharp? The VCB, you mentioned them. I don't believe there's any report or anything from the VCB necessarily. They have been busy. Are you able to give a update on the stuff that they've been working on?
Well, right now they've just been going through their budgeting process and getting ready for next year. She's had 3 different grants that she's had to apply for this month, so she's been doing that. And then Jeff Bowe is the certified tourism ambassador. They also have doing the Bountiful Byway, and they're going to be holding some meetings late November and December with a rollout of what the corridor management plan draft looks like, and there'll be information coming out on that.
Okay. Thank you, George. Fire District 12.
No report.
Library. I do not see Linda present. We've done some maintenance issues for them recently. They've been dealing with bees. I think we took a wasp nest out of the side of it. Museum.
There they are. Multiple notes, sorry. So really all that's going on at the museum is getting ready for Railroad Day, but I'll talk more about that later. Also, we have resumed winter hours, so that's Friday and Saturday, noon to 4. So we'll be closed Sundays till next spring. We're planning a series of history talks this winter, so just different events where probably once a month we'll have a historian come in and give a talk on a subject that's about Tenino, Thurston County, or Washington State history, and invite the public to that. So that's going to be a new thing, a new old thing, something we used to do more. And then I just want to highlight one of our recent donations to the museum was a 1924 piano that is on, it's not a donation, it's on indefinite loan from the Tenino School District. So hopefully we'll be having some more music also in the Tickner Schoolhouse. So that's all I got for now.
Thank you, Jessica. Report, I do not see Jody. Civil Service Commission, is there any information? Okay. Facade Improvement Grant Review Committee.
I talked to Heather, and they're supposed to start before the end of November. I said I certainly hope it doesn't start raining. Heather from Whitewood Cider. And I talked to Rhonda today, and nobody has turned in any receipts for repayment so far. They got until the end of the year. So
Okay.
do that, so. I've just been keeping on, like, them Whitewood Ciders to
Yeah, we've been keeping on them.
keep it on.
Yeah.
Because they've got to get it done. or
Yeah.
they lose the money.
Yeah. Okay. Planning Commission. Public Safety, Chief of Police. You are up, sir. Okay. Director of Public Works. Troy's not with us tonight. He kind of had a family emergency earlier in the week that took him out of state for a minute, but we don't need to get into that. Everyone is okay. Public Works has pretty much finished the trail building in the park, and we are going to plan on the paving in the next week or two. So that should be being done. If you take a look at the park, it's now a gravel trail that goes around the circumference of the park, and it's already being used heavily. You go out there any night and you'll see half a dozen people walking their dogs and going along the trail. So it's already a good addition. I feel when we get the blacktop across it, we'll see some pretty heavy use. Speaking to the playground toy vendor, we should have possession of the new playground toys the last week of this month, and they should be constructed fairly quickly once we receive them. Yep, some Halloween toys. That'll be very exciting to see that put up. So having the completion of the trail and the completion of the toys, if everything goes as planned, by the end of this month. So that is exciting. We've demobbed the dewatering belt press device out at the wastewater treatment plant. We've been able to remove around 1 million gallons, a little over 1 million gallons of sludge from the sludge pond. So that's pretty significant. That was a very big project for the wastewater treatment plant and for Public Works. We had a lot of help from Fire Mountain, I believe is the name of the company. They brought in an equalizing basin. They brought in that tractor that had the PTO with the giant egg blender, pretty much, and they helped us haul out a lot of the dewatered biosolids. So that was a successful event, and now that we've been through it, we'd plan on probably doing it maybe every other year to a much lesser extent, and kind of roll into a management phase as we plan out and build out our compost facility. That's the plan. That's the vision. So that seems to be going well. Things other than that at the wastewater treatment plant are going well. We had a pre-con meeting for the water line replacement that will be being done mid-October, Jen?
Yep, it's gonna go the 10th to the 24th.
10th to the 24th. Barcott Construction will be working on water line replacement on the east end of Sussex. So I don't know exactly what 100 block that is, but that end of town, you'll see very minimal traffic issues. Most of the work that they do will be in the shoulder, but we'll be pulling up and replacing old water lines. I believe I've given the construction dates, planned construction dates for the Ritter Street improvement. I want to say that they're going to start like the 23rd, 26th of this month. You'll see construction start on Ritter Street. That's going to be a big project. We've talked about that. Going to be total road rebuild. We had a meeting with TRPC staff to talk about upcoming funding opportunities for transportation projects. And I'll be bringing some of those proposals before you guys sometime soon. But we know what our biggest transportation needs are. We talk about it in our TIP, so there won't be any surprises. But thanks to a large part, some of the work that Councilmember O'Callahan has done on the Transportation Policy Board, there is additional funding available to us this year. So we are going to go for some bigger projects than we've had in the past. So we're looking forward to that. And other than that, at Public Works.
Did you talk about Quarry House has resumed?
Quarry House has resumed. Grit City Construction is in there. They've been in there all this week. Going in there tomorrow to meet with the company and the engineer and kind of finalize up some things. We finalized the kitchen plan. We did some things to cut costs. There was a large commercial freezer that was in there that we're not so sure that we'll need in the build out. But other than that is back on track and that is going well. I do not have a date yet, but it shouldn't be more than another few weeks. The odor subsided a lot with the weather and also with the removal of the sludge. And so now that they're not, that really came about when they put that big blender in there and they were mixing up all the solids and the liquids. So it's back to normal, if not less than normal. So yeah, there are no odor issues that I'm aware of right now. Okay, Chief, Director of Public Works, City Planner, Code Enforcement Building Inspector. Our Code Enforcement Officer is on jury duty all week. Talked to him today, and he said he sat at the courthouse and watched videos on being a juror, which does not sound like very much fun. Park Specialist, Jessica.
Hello again. Okay, so number of things going on. First and foremost on my mind is Tenino Railroad Day, because that is this Saturday from 10 to 4. We have quite a few vendors and educational booths going to be there. The schedule of events for that is basically at 10 o'clock, we're going to kind of have an opening ceremony and the marching band, which is not the high school marching band because they're going to be gone. It's going to be 8th graders. So without a band director. So I'm hoping everyone is going to be just like super supportive of these kids. It's very brave of them to do this. So they're going to do the national anthem and then kind of march us over to the staging area, which is by the caboose. From there, we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony and a mayoral speech and some other activities. Yes?
My grandson texted me, and they'll have it, the other receptacle done tomorrow. He's going to do it after work. And I texted me back and said, "Do you want me to come pick it up, or will you bring it down?" I imagine he'll bring it down, so he'll arrange to meet with them.
Nice. And then at 11 o'clock, the Tenino Young at Heart Theater, I'm hoping is still on board. They've been really busy with their own stuff, is still on board to do a little musical that we put together. And then at noon, we're going to open the time capsule from 2002 that is at the museum. That started in 1982, was open in 2002. We'll be opening it and then give it like a month for people to gather things together and then reseal it again to be open in another 20 years.
When did it start?
That's going to be at noon.
No. When was it first?
Oh, 1982.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and then at 1 o'clock, Sea Star of a Celtic folk band is going to be performing. They have a long history with the caboose. They used to rent it before.
That was a neat story.
Yeah, before we took possession of it and used to use it kind of as a recording studio and a jam session place. So they have some sentimental attachment, even though they realize it's going to be much changed. They would like to come for the ribbon cutting. And then at 2:30, the JBLM brass band will be coming, and they do like New Orleans style kind of music. So it should be exciting. They told me they'd bring the energy, so that will also be happening. So
Good job, Jessica.
Thanks. Also, I just turned in the Heritage Grant. Well, hopefully that on behalf of the city, so hopefully that's a thing. And I'm working on some other grants. Soccer season has started over there. I've also been talking to Linda about a potential story trail next year and what she's going to do differently. Linda from the library. And I've done some updates to the park sections of the webpage just to kind of, if there's a place you want to direct people to what the status is, what the ETAs are on projects at the park, I'm going to try and keep that updated there. And that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. City Attorney, Clerk Treasurer.
Howdy, hey. Not a lot to report. We got the excise taxes filed, very exciting stuff. Working on collecting rate study data. I've been meeting with them every week, getting more things to them. Grant reimbursement, and then the budget, because it's that time of year. So that's it. We are going to discuss the final payout and closing of the City Hall reno, so I'll just explain more of that when it's time for that. But thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Clerk Treasurer? Thank you. Mayor's report, reading over budgets, meeting with staff. I've been attending the redistricting meetings for the county commission and the port commission. I think that's pretty relevant to us. So as most of you know, the port commission and the county commission has put on the ballot. So when you're over 300,000 residents, you can place on the ballot to go from 3 commissioners on the port and in the county to 5. And if you get over 400,000, they automatically do it for you. So our county has opted to choose to place it on the ballot this November. So if that is passed, there would be a redistricting. So there is a redistricting committee, and I have been attending the meetings. Linda attended the last one, and we've been working in concert with our county commissioners and port commissioners to ensure that with the redistricting, there is considerable consideration given to ensuring that we get better representation. So the way that the commissioner districts and the port commission districts have always run, it's basically vertical lines through the county, and the population centers are up north. So naturally, most of the candidates and elected officials for those positions come from up north. The initial map that was presented, just kind of as the starting point for their discussions, just drew vertical lines north-south. And so we feel that the same thing would have happened to where all of the representatives would have been North County representatives, and we would not have been given a voice. So Commissioner Mejia has been a very strong advocate for us. So is Port Commissioner Amy Evans, Port Commissioner Bob Ayala, Ty Menser. Everybody it has been almost like a unified voice that has said we need to ensure that there's adequate South County representation in the redistricting. And so they have done some different versions based on a lot of different people's requests and demands. And so now it is looking like the proposed district boundaries would cut out a portion of Thurston County that is essentially southwest Thurston County. I've spoke with the Bucota mayor and the Rainier mayor, and we have conveyed to the commission that we feel like we are cities, we are similar cities in many ways, and we kind of share a lot of common features. So we would want to be in the same district. There's been a lot of residents from Rochester that have sent the same thing. So it looks like we will get a Rochester, Tenino, Bucota, Rainier commissioner district, which would be great for our neck of the woods, because then we would have representatives that truly come and represent us, instead of saying somebody from like Cooper Point that just happens to be in the same district as Tenino and doesn't really reflect the same flavor of lifestyle. So that seems to be going well. I've been spending a lot of time working on that, and it seems to be going well. Other than that, been putting in my city hall hours and working with Public Works and all the other folks that have things going on. Any questions? I'm really tired because I had fires all night, so the people are restless.
They had all those maps for
They're on the county website.
well, it was in the newspaper.
Okay, good.
All in there in color and what they were proposing.
Okay.
It almost looks like they took Tenino, Bucota, Rainier, Rochester, put them with Water and Olympia.
Not anymore. The latest maps, it's basically south of Tumwater.
They chose to
Yeah.
work on map B and map C.
Yeah, well, I don't know, there's been like 8 versions of the map so far. So we're on version 8B, and yeah, and we can, it'd take me a minute to pull it up, but I can, at our next meeting, I can probably bring in some updated versions. I just didn't want to bring in versions because they were changing every week. Yeah, nothing's been decided, but the latest version, it shows a southwest county district, and then essentially Lacey and Yelm are a district, and then there's a district up in northwest Thurston County that kind of goes down into Olympia, and then Olympia proper, and then portion of Olympia, Tumwater. And really the only thing that's changing is, at this point, from what it looks like, the only thing that's changing is how much of Olympia and Lacey goes into these last two.
But we basically, looks like we're staying the same
Mm-hmm.
in what we want, so, yeah.
Yeah, so we're really happy with the work that's been done so far. At least I am. I believe my other mayoral colleagues, Linda attended the last meeting, and she seemed to be very happy with the way things rolled out. Hey, we're talking about the redistricting. Do you want to talk about that?
I'm happy to answer any questions.
So it seems to be shaping up nicely. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. That brings us to Be That.
School's
Linda's
back, so
here
I
too.
assume their first meeting will be this Monday.
Okay. All right. Miss Librarian, perfect timing. We're doing the reports during the work session. We've kind of gotten in the habit of that, and it seems to be working well.
So, hello everybody. I'm glad I made it in time. Unbeknownst to me, but this is great actually. It started with me finishing up earlier. So, the big news is we're back to in-person programming. I've already enjoyed a great story time. Looking forward to another one tomorrow. This Thursday at 2 o'clock we have Crafternoon, which is crafting for adults. And, sorry, just climbed the stairs. And then after that, if you check our website to see what else we have planned. September, I'm sure you are all aware, is Library Sign-Up Card Month. So to celebrate this year, Timberland has designed 4 new library cards. And we just got them today. It's very exciting. So kind of that iconic Pacific Northwest look, mountains and camping and such. A kind of looks like the beach to me. Some waves and some sand-colored background. I love my library. Very colorful cards. And for those of you who believe, or just want to believe, it's not splash. So the other really great thing about these, besides the pictures and the designs, is something that people have been asking for a long time, which is that it has both the key ring card and the regular card, whereas before you had to choose. So now you don't have to choose, you get them both. So I looked back, since it's Library Card Month, to see how many new library card signings we had last year, and we had 360. And I'm happy to report that through August of this year, we've already had 365.
Nice.
So by the end of the year, I expect that to go up even more, especially with our awesome cards. But it's exciting to me that people are getting back to the library and they're looking for and getting involved and getting access to great resources. Just want to mention that we will be at the Railroad Days that Jessica is planning.
Thank you.
And we're also starting, since we started, we'll be going to the middle school once a month to take some different tech toys out for them to play with and explore. So we enjoy our partnership with Tenino Middle School, and Jamie Kinney over there just makes it super easy to be involved with them. The other thing, besides looking at library card signups, I took a quick look at our circulation numbers. And so far through August of this year, we had 16,023 checkouts, which is more than all of our checkouts last year, which by the end of December we had 15,220. So I think we're starting to see a little more activity the further away we get from serious COVID. So hopefully we'll see that trend continue as well. So that's it, unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you. Yep, perfect timing. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our work session. I'd like to call to order the September 13th Tenino City Council meeting. Let the record show all council members are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right, we have an agenda before us needing approval.
Move approval.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That brings us to the approval of the minutes for 8/23/2022.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for the August 23rd meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to the consent calendar consisting of August 24th, 2022 through September 13th, 2022. Payroll EFTs in the amount of $65,812.61. Claims checks number 30844 through 30884. And EFTs in the amount of $411,636.98. For a grand total of $477,449.59. And the reason for the large number was explained to me, Jen?
It wasn't explained to me.
Rana,
Hold on.
There was-
It's because we're doing the payout for the city hall right now.
there we go, thank you.
You're welcome.
For, my brain doesn't work after I fought fire all night. That is it for the consent calendar. Is there any discussion or questions?
Move approval.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We have no executive session, presentations, public comment. If there's anyone in the public that would like to provide comment, please do so at this time. You'll be given 3 minutes. No. Moving on, public hearing. That brings us to proclamations. Now it's this. We have a proclamation before us for National Voter Registration Day, and a presentation from our auditor, Miss Mary Hall.
Well, first, I'd like to thank you for recognizing National Voter Registration Day. Voting is a cornerstone of our democracy, but you can't vote if you're not registered. And we now have 194,000 registered voters in Thurston County. Our biggest goal is to register our young voters, those 18 to 24 and 25 to 34-year-olds. They seem to be the ones not participating in our democracy. And now more than ever, we need every single person to have a voice in our democracy. So 2022 is the 9th National Voter Registration Day, and I'm proud to say that we have participated in every single one of them. And I really appreciate your having me here today because your efforts and by recognizing this day really helps us promote the importance of registering to vote and voting. And I don't know if you have reader boards or things that you can put up across town or share it on your Facebook page. The city has one. That's terrific.
No. He's saying it's not a town, it's a city. It's a very big, it's a big issue for Councilmember O'Callahan.
And I love Tenino, just want you to know that. But your efforts are helping us increase awareness, and we really appreciate that. And it's really easy to register to vote. All you have to do, you can do it online. It takes 5 minutes. You go to votelaw.gov and just key in your information. You need your driver's license number or the last 4 of your social security number, and that's what validates your registration. And it's that simple. And if you've registered with, or if you have a driver's license, we pull your signature from the Department of Licensing. If you don't have a driver's license, we'll send you a form. So it's really easy, but, anything you can do to help us promote this day is really appreciated, and I thank you for doing the proclamation.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Ms. Hall? I thought there was an automatic voter registration that was passed in Washington State.
So when people get their driver's license, they're automatically registered. But some people have had their driver's license for a long time
Okay.
and are registered. We
Yeah.
actually have a very good percentage of registered voters at Thurston County, but we could do better.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for getting us there.
Yeah, I found,
My passion.
I went looking for something about a week or so ago, and you ever go looking for something or find something else? I found my voter registration card from 1986.
All right. I will now read the proclamation and ask the council to take a vote. This is a proclamation for National Voter Registration Day. Whereas registering to vote empowers eligible citizens to exercise their right to vote on Election Day, and whereas the City of Tenino is committed to strengthening democracy by encouraging voter registration and increasing participation in all elections, and whereas civic-minded people and organizations have collaborated to establish September 20th, 2022 as National Voter Registration Day, and whereas the goal of the 2022 National Voter Registration Day is to create awareness of elections and motivate eligible citizens to vote in coming months, and whereas the strength of our democracy depends on the willingness of our citizens to participate by choosing the people who will lead us and by voicing their opinions on important matters that will come before the voters on Election Day, now therefore be it resolved that the Tenino City Council hereby recognizes September 20th, 2022 as National Voter Registration Day in Tenino and encourages all eligible city residents to register to vote.
Move approval.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the proclamation for National Voter Registration Day. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hall, for all your work.
You have a beautiful city hall.
Doesn't it look nice?
I love your city.
Thank you. That brings us to old business, City Hall completion and final pay estimate. I will ask the interim clerk treasurer to come up and prepare for any questions. We've discussed this in meetings past. So there was, after some contractors' bills came in that were lagging, the contractor got a number of bills from the subcontractors that were not expected due to increase in construction costs. Through negotiations, we worked it out with the contractor, with the general contractor, Construct Inc., to come to a resolution. And so we have agreed with the approval of council to pay, what is the excess number?
It is the
Outside, yeah. they just-
40,900.
So 40,900 approximately is what Construct.
So, yeah, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I am going
Okay,
to
go.
for 1 second. So the original final payout was $217,000, and they lowered it by $35,000, bringing it down to $181. So, I mean, that still puts us over, but not by, nearly $80,000. We had funds set aside for the engineering costs that it will come out of.
Nice.
Yes, so
Does that make sense?
initially they were asking for, what did you say?
217,000.
that was outside of the original contract. We said, no, we had a contract, we negotiated with them, we brought that down.
To
Now-
181.
To what?
181.
180, but that is not what's over.
Right, correct.
That
What
is within the contract.
Correct.
The only thing that matters is what's outside the contract,
Yes.
and that's 40.
Uh-huh.
But we prepared for these kinds of things, and so in our budget, building into it, if you go down and you look at engineering expenses, we way overshot our budget for engineering expenses, saying that we budgeted for almost $100,000 in engineering expenses, and we've only spent $7,000 in engineering expenses, give or take. So we didn't necessarily plan for that, but we planned for potential overages, which we hit with construction cost increases. So we are asking the council tonight to review and approve City Hall renovation completions and final pay estimate.
As well as a change order, I think, right? Is that the same? Okay.
Yes, review and approve City Hall renovation completion and final pay estimate. That is the change order.
Okay. Any questions?
Is there any questions?
No.
With that, we'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a
Second.
second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah. I'm not going to vote against this, but I do not like, especially since early on, I kept warning about the inflation and all the extra costs and stuff like that. And then these guys come up and say afterwards, after everything is done, oh, by the way, I've worked where I've had to have contracts, and if we went over, we ate it. It was that simple. You did not come back to the customer and say, oh, by the way, this costs extra, that costs extra, this costs extra. The only time that we got paid extra is if we sat down with the owners and the owner said, this is what I want done, and that was extra work. That was a change order. That was something that got paid. But overages, it's on their part. I have a hard time saying yes to this. I'm going to, because we do have the funds for it. But it's not good. It's not good. It's not a good practice at all. And I think it needs to be recognized in any inquiries from somebody else that the work was done fine except for $40,000 over that was not discussed as a change order. This is not good business practice.
Understood. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We have no new business, no resolutions, no ordinances. We will continue reports. We left off at Solid Waste Advisory Board.
The results of all the surveys that they were doing for the drop boxes, those will be ready at the end of the month. And the other big thing is they're worried about the railroad strike
Oh,
and how it's going to affect trash pickup, and do they run out of railroad cars, and depending on how long the strike goes. So it's something to be thinking about
absolutely.
in
Yeah, 'cause
case
over
it,
at the landfill, it gets they get too much stuff in there. It's a potential fire hazard.
yes, that also.
Thank you. TCOM 911, Tenino School Board.
It's been a really, really busy start to the week, for sure. I'm trying to still catch up and write stuff down on my calendar, but so I'll start with the major points. So last Saturday was the high school band's Husky Band Day, where they got to go to the Husky Stadium and bands from all over got to perform together. I wasn't able to make it to that one, but I know Jessica went. And thanks to your Facebook, I saw pictures. It did actually look incredible because you see all of these schools with the Husky Band in the middle, and it just looks so cool having everybody there all in line. It just was awesome. And so we were trying to figure out what schools go to what. So they did a really good job. They had a really good time. It was a long day, but I think it's kind of incredible that our band is doing things like that. And
Well, I'm glad they brought that back. because of
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
I remember in high school that was a big thing for
yeah.
band members.
It's too bad it's
The
at
band used to
UW.
travel all the
I know.
time.
It's too bad it's at UW.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an incredible experience for these guys, and music is so important in school. So to have this, I think is just, I love it. And this morning, the sixth graders left for CISPIS with
They
a
did
group.
get to go?
They did
That
get to
fire
go.
didn't enter- that's
We
great.
found out Monday that it was a go. So we all were waiting and checking our emails to make sure. But Mrs. Shaw said that it's a go since the fire is not in danger over there near Cispus. So,
Don't start any new ones while they're there.
I told Ethan,
right,
just
I know.
stop, drop, and roll if you see it.
That's what you told
just
your kid?
run screaming. No, but they got to go early this morning with some high school counselors, and they'll be back on Friday. So this coming Saturday is the varsity football game at the Lumen Field, and on the schedule it says 12:30, but I double checked that with the coaches, and they said 11:55, which is a very specific number. Very specific time. So I'm actually going to go to this one, and I'm really excited about it. So our band gets to go to that too, and our high school cheerleaders get to be in an actual stadium, and
That's cool.
And our guys get to play on a field, a real one, big one.
Hey, our field's real.
You
We
complain
paid a lot
about
of money for that
everything I
field.
say. I mean, like a professional, like, you know. It is beautiful, Jason. Sorry, it's really pretty.
Thank you.
And dads always pick people up too, not just moms.
Just know cheerleaders can't go to Husky Band Day too.
I know we didn't. I had no idea. I didn't realize
I
that
would
there was
never
going to
allow
be
my
so
child
many
to go to Husky
cheerleaders
Stadium.
there. Yeah, we talked to Tia, so maybe next year we'll see if our girls can go, because that would be kind of cool for them too.
His daughter will be sick.
Thank you. Yes,
No,
I don't care.
High school, not littles.
Anything else? Jessica, you got anything?
I think that's it. Meeting next week.
Yeah, what is, I've heard what, enrollment at the middle school is like, as opposed to what is it usually?
I don't really remember.
There's as many kids at the there's as many kids at the middle school as in the high school right now?
Yeah, and just.
Well, it's the
we've
sixth
been-
grade class.
We've been kind of below what is the threshold for funding, all last year. And so having enrollment well above the line, means that there doesn't have to be cuts that they worried about in the past. They were planning for funding to go down, and it's not gonna go down now.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Where'd they all come from?
It's the sixth grade class. It's massive.
Well, I mean, there were, different people who came, who sent their kids to Tumwater and now sending them to Tenino. Kids who continued to homeschool, because of COVID, and now decided to re-enroll their kids back in school for various issues.
Excellent.
COVID's really what made the enrollment go down, and that happens statewide. So a lot of schools have the same problem.
And the meeting next week, Jessica, you guys are, is it going to be at the elementary this time?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Back to it.
Are you
'Cause it
guys
used to just
rotating
be-
the
It used
schools?
to just be at the elementary. Now they're rotating, so now I have
They used to rotate the schools though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was always hosted all
Yeah.
that year before last, before COVID.
The school board is going to have a meeting this year in Dakota.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because our superintendent just felt that it would be nice and
Yeah, good for him. That's, yeah.
you don't have to buy from
That's really cool. All right, TRPC,
I'll be sending out the after meeting minutes here in the next day or so,
TPB,
tomorrow morning.
Legislature. It is.
We go back the second Monday. I'll go back right after New Year's, but a session starts the second Monday in January, so.
And is this a mini session?
This is the long session.
This is the long session.
This is the budget year. This is
Okay.
where all the fighting is, yeah.
Is there anything that we should be fighting about?
Well, yeah, there's always something.
Because
We-
now's the time to
that
fight.
We really should be asking for money, of course.
We're
of
always
course.
asking for money.
That's okay. That's what we should be doing,
Okay.
okay?
Public comment period number 2. If there's anyone in the public that would like to provide comment, now's your time to do so. You'll be given 3 minutes. State your name, address, and bank account number.
Hi, George Sharp. I'm representing the chamber again, and one thing I wanted to bring up is that Linda asked, as council member, that the chamber sponsor the final 12 or 14 flags
Yes.
along Main Street, and so the chamber did purchase those, and we've delivered those to Public Works now, so hopefully sometime when they're not so busy, we'll be able to put them up. And also,
They're probably coming all down now for the season.
okay, well, we'll have them for next year.
Yes.
And then we also were requested if we could help sponsor Railroad Day from the Historical Society. And so the chamber is sponsoring for $444 some of the Railroad Day. I'd like to present that to Jessica. Thank you, and the chamber really appreciates everything about the community and wants to support what you guys do.
Thank you, George. Are there any announcements? And if you say first responder potluck, we're going to kick you out of here. Yeah. Announcement, it was John's birthday the other day. I have no idea how old he is, but it's still about half as much as Linda.
Yeah. Not quite, although I was going to say that I probably could find my 1961 voter registration.
Really?
That's when I turned 21, yes. And that's when that's when I started voting, so there you go.
That's pretty cool.
That's a long time. 61 years I've been voting.
Have you, how many of the elections have you voted in?
All of them.
Every single one of them?
Absolutely. Of course.
That's amazing.
My husband and I registered, I think it was 1980, we registered 1,000 voters in Grace Harbor.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's when you did it with the paper. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
One of the things that, you moved on a little bit quick, not a big deal, that I think we need to keep an eye on for our state is Illinois just put up a no cash bail type deal, and if you read what's in there, it is really, really bad, and it's not good for officers. One of the other things that I understand directly is the homeless. They can now, once this takes effect on January 1st, if it does get passed and everybody thinks it's going to, homeless will be able to actually set up in your garage, on your lawn, and you can't chase them out. The police will not be able to do anything about it. This is a very, very bad step, and I think we need to keep a close eye. Yeah, see,
I'm sure it already has. It was a disaster in New York, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Is it? Maybe it was New York City. They passed that. And it's been...
No, this New York City's got their own version of it, but this goes far beyond what New York City is doing. It's almost anything that's out there is you don't have to pay bail on. So you go in, they say yeah, walk out and never go back again. It's not good. And they added the bit about homeless where they can come to your home, set up on your property, and you can't do anything about it. It's up to you. Yeah. No trespassing sign doesn't mean anything anymore.
All right. Moving on. Sorry, I'm not cutting you off.
No problem.
Any further announcements?
Yeah, I wanted to say how I was at the, and John was there for a little while too, and George, the Young at Heart Theater reveal, and it was a very, very nice affair.
Yes,
It was. Went off really well.
And I got a Vitamix from the grass sale next door.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Hearing no further announcements, meeting adjourned.
Non-debatable motion.
See you, John. What? Yeah, right. No.